Today we're going to put this penny backsplash tile up, and for those of you who don't know, my name's Jared, and I spent about 6 months of all my free time completely renovating my kitchen. So with that, let's get into it, and I'm just going to show you how I put up this penny tile. So I needed some kind of edge for it to kind of sit within, so I found this metal piece that I thought was nice and thin and kind of gave you this look of, you know, it not being overburdened by the amount of trim that was there. I really wanted to showcase the penny tile. So here I'm just cutting some of it up so that way I can actually bend it and get just kind of a 90-degree on it. So I tried using just a Dremel tool and cleaning that edge out so that way I kind of get like a 90-degree bend in it. So I was just taking out the material inside so that way I could form that bend without it buckling or, you know, the metal bending over itself, and I could actually bend it straight. Once I got it bent, I went ahead and just kind of temporarily mounted it on the wall with some tape. I wanted the ability to move it around a little bit and to just make sure that it was where I wanted it and that it was level, and to make sure that everything just kind of looked right as I was doing it. So I just used this temporary solution. You don't have to do this. I'm sure you could mount it, but that's how I did it. I used a light plate cover to give myself the other 90-degree. I just used whatever I had around. And this time I tried a different way. I tried cutting. That didn't really work out very well. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up just using some files, and I just started out with a triangle file and got myself started. And then I used a flat one later to finish everything out. And then after that, I clipped out the other pieces so that way I could get that nice 90 in. I feel like the file was a lot better choice and was a lot easier to control than the Dremel tool. So, and most people can get their hands on files. They're cheap. A Dremel tool might cost you, you know, 40, 50, 60 bucks when a set of files can cost you 10 or 20. So I was trying to also find a solution that anybody could use. So when I was trying to bend this, I realized that that back piece was causing me to bend out of being straight. So I had to use a pair of pliers to make sure that bent where I needed it to. I also realized that when I was trying to cut this, that I was just cutting it to length, and I said, well, you know, this file will just give myself a good place to start before I started using the hacksaw. Now maybe you've noticed already, I have some light plate switches that are really close to the counter, and I didn't want to have to actually tile around them. So I went with a regular size tile and I cut it in half just so it would fit right underneath my light switch plate covers. So I didn't have to tile around those. And my window would have, if I would have had to tile around them, then I would have been tiling up to my window and around my window. and around light plate covers, and I just wanted to keep it simple and clean. And I also wanted it to not be overstated, so I kept it real small by cutting it in half. These tiles come with mesh backs, so it's easy to cut them, and you just turn them over and cut them with a knife. It's pretty easy. To attach the tile to a wall, I just use this type 1 Maypeel, I don't know how to say it, tile adhesive, and you just give it a good stir before you start, and I think you let it sit a little bit and then you stir it again. So just follow the directions, it's pretty simple. And you just go ahead and put it right on the wall, and then you use a trowel that has the teeth in it, so that way you spread it evenly. This type of trowel will give you a nice even surface and level surface. So take your time, make sure that you get your adhesive on there in a good way. I kind of put too much adhesive on mine. I don't really have any good tips or tricks for you on this. Just try not to keep too much on there, and try not to push your tile too deep into the adhesive. Otherwise you have to deal with the adhesive coming through the mesh and kind of coming into where you need to grout, and sometimes that can make the grout look like the wrong color. So just be careful you don't apply too much, and be careful you don't press it in too much. You can see here I'm pressing with the whole trowel against the penny tile just to get it pushed into the glue a little bit. And I did this because I didn't want to push on each individual tile, and then they'll be all uneven and they won't be flat. So this is a good way to keep all those penny tiles at the same angle so they don't end up looking like you pushed one in and it's all goofy at an angle and the other one. The mesh on the back really helps keep that from happening as well, but just as a precaution, I went ahead and used a flat surface to push the tile into the adhesive.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight.
And here's a prime example of having too much adhesive and pressing a little bit hard. It just squeezes through that mesh and you have to clean it up.
Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind. Get on board. We're smiling on top of the world.
Most of these products are water soluble as long as you get to them before they dry. So go ahead and wipe your counter down and peel your tape off and make sure that it's all off and it's clean. And that's what you get after you glue it all on. And so next we're going to grout. All right, so we're not going to grout just yet. Got to fix this little edge right here. I got to just cut some little pieces and actually glue them in separately so that way it doesn't look like it's missing tile. So I'm just fixing the edge piece that I put around it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just cut the penny tile with this tool right here, and it'll just kind of snap in half. It's pretty easy to use. And then just put a little glue on the back of them and go ahead and put them in place. Before I grouted, just to keep things simple and more clean, I went ahead and put down some painter's tape just to make sure that it was easy to work with and I wasn't super worried about what I was getting on the counter. So you'll need a float and water and a sponge and some gloves and your grout and a bucket to mix it in. So pour your water in, and this is one of those things where you follow the directions. It's got amounts of time that you have to stir it for and wait and stir again and add. So just follow the directions on the bag. Sometimes they're long and lengthy, but it's not really that hard. Just follow the directions till you get that perfect consistency that you're looking for. We're gonna mix for the additional 30 seconds. Great, mix too wet. Oh. Alright, 30 seconds. Let's go put it on the wall. Alright, so this is a lot of fun. You just put it in there and smash it in between all the cracks, and I guess the most important thing is make sure you come at it different directions, especially with a penny tile. You've got a lot of voids to fill, and in multiple directions. Make sure you didn't miss anything. So just take your time and make sure that you get grout in all the gaps. After I got all the grout pushed in, I grabbed myself a 5-gallon bucket, put some clean water in it, and this is something you'll have to go back in and a sponge. And after you do this for a little bit, you'll probably have to get clean water more than once. The key here is to get the grout off the tile, but don't take so much off that you take too much grout out from between the tiles, and also try not to put too much water on it so you don't actually affect how the grout will set in the end. So take some work, but you can get there. Just take your time and just keep cleaning it up till you get what you want. All right, the penny tile backsplash is finally done, and that means that my kitchen is done finally. So thanks for sticking with me for my whole kitchen renovation, and I hope you found it helpful and informative. And if you want some help on some other things, let me know, or check out this video right here.